Captain Alex Mercer stood on the bridge of the starship Aurora, staring out at the swirling colors of the uncharted planet below. Its surface glowed with shades of green and blue like a living jewel in the void of space. No human had ever set foot there, and yet the sensors showed signs of a highly advanced civilization. Something about the readings made Alex uneasy. There was intelligence on the planet, but also a strong energy signature he had never seen before. "Captain," said Lieutenant Mara Chen, her voice tense. "The energy spikes are increasing. Whatever is on that planet is aware of us." Alex turned and studied her carefully. Mara had always been cautious, sometimes overly so, but she was rarely wrong. "Understood," he replied calmly. "Prepare a landing party. We will proceed carefully." As the Aurora descended through the atmosphere, the world below unfolded in breathtaking detail. Towering crystal structures rose from vast forests, reflecting the sunlight in dazzling patterns. Rivers of liquid that shimmered like mercury wound through valleys, and strange flying creatures with translucent wings darted in and out of the clouds. Alex could feel the hum of the planet through the ship, alive, almost sentient. The landing was rough. The ship's repulsors struggled against the planet's strange gravity, and when they touched down, the ground beneath them vibrated, as if the planet itself was warning them to leave. Alex and his team suited up, ready for anything. The moment the landing hatch opened, a wave of scents and sounds hit them. The air was thick but breathable, carrying a sweet floral aroma mixed with something metallic. The sky above shimmered in colors Alex had no names for. And then they saw them. Figures moving gracefully among the crystal towers. Tall, regal beings with eyes that glowed like amber, their movements fluid and deliberate. "Stay calm," Alex whispered to his team. "Do not make sudden moves." The beings did not speak at first. They simply watched, their expressions unreadable. Then a single figure stepped forward, taller than the others, with a crown-like structure on her head and armor that gleamed like liquid silver. Alex knew immediately she was their leader. "I am Queen Zarina," the figure said in a voice that resonated without words, reaching directly into their minds. "Why have you come to my world, humans?" Alex took a deep breath. He had dealt with first contacts before, but this was different. He could feel the power radiating from her, the authority in every movement. "Your Majesty, we come in peace. We are explorers from the planet Earth seeking knowledge and understanding." Zarina's eyes narrowed. "Peace? Many who come in peace have brought war and chaos. Why should I believe you?" Alex swallowed hard. He had expected suspicion, but her intensity was more than he could have imagined. "We understand your caution. We have harmed no one and wish to learn from your civilization. If you allow it, we will demonstrate our intentions." There was a long silence. The other figures moved closer, their expressions unreadable, watching their queen carefully. Finally, Zarina spoke. "You may remain, but under my guard. Any attempt to deceive me will be met with consequences beyond your understanding." Alex nodded, a mix of relief and apprehension washing over him. "Understood, Your Majesty. We accept your terms." From that moment, the humans were escorted through the city. The crystal towers reflected every movement, creating dazzling patterns that disoriented their senses at first. Zarina walked ahead of them, regal and imposing, yet her eyes kept flicking back to Alex as if testing him. They reached a chamber high above the city where Zarina stopped. "You will stay here. Comfort is irrelevant. Observation is everything." She gestured to a room filled with strange devices, some that seemed alive. "Learn our ways. Perhaps you will survive the lessons." Alex looked around, fascinated despite the tension. The devices were beyond human understanding. Machines that responded to thought. Structures that moved and shifted on their own. He realized that if he could understand even a fraction of their technology, it would be revolutionary for humanity. Days passed. Alex and his team were allowed limited freedom under strict supervision. They observed the alien society carefully. Zarina's people were highly intelligent, cooperative, and disciplined. They communicated not only through sound but also with subtle movements and mental signals that Alex could only partially comprehend. Despite her anger at their presence, Zarina often appeared near Alex during his observations, watching silently. Sometimes she would correct him or guide him, not with words but with thought and gesture. He began to understand that her anger was not personal. It was a shield, a defense mechanism shaped by generations of betrayal from outsiders. One evening, Alex found himself alone in the chamber, staring out at the city lights shimmering in the alien night. He felt a presence behind him and turned to see Zarina standing there, her expression unreadable. "You are different from others," she said quietly, her voice softer than he expected. "You do not seek to dominate or destroy. Yet your ways are strange, unpredictable." Alex hesitated. "I do not fully understand your world, Your Majesty, but I want to learn. And I want to help if I can." For the first time, Zarina did not respond with a test or a warning. She simply observed him, as if trying to read the very essence of his being. "Perhaps you are worthy of more," she said finally, though the meaning was unclear. The next day, a crisis erupted in the city. One of the crystal towers was destabilizing, threatening to collapse and destroy a part of the city. Panic spread among the aliens, though they tried to maintain their composure. Alex saw an opportunity to demonstrate human ingenuity. "Tell me what you know about the problem," Alex requested, speaking carefully. Zarina stepped aside, allowing him access to data streams and visualizations he had never seen before. Using his knowledge of engineering and human problem-solving, Alex proposed a solution. He worked tirelessly with the aliens, combining their advanced technology with human creativity. Hours passed, tension mounting until finally the tower stabilized. Zarina watched silently the entire time. When the crisis ended without casualties, she finally approached Alex. "You saved lives today," she said simply. "Few humans could think this way." Alex nodded, exhausted but relieved. "I did what anyone would do if they had the chance." "Perhaps," Zarina replied, her tone unreadable. "But you acted with courage and care. That is uncommon." That night, Alex reflected on everything he had seen. The alien world was dangerous, beautiful, and full of mysteries. And yet, despite the risks, he felt a strange sense of connection to Zarina. She was formidable, frightening even, but there was something more beneath the surface, a complexity, a depth he could not ignore. As he drifted into sleep, he knew this was only the beginning. The planet held many secrets, and Zarina was only one of them. But something had changed in the way she looked at him. For the first time, Alex felt that humans could make a difference in a place where no human had ever set foot, and perhaps even earn the respect of an alien queen. And somewhere deep within the palace, Zarina stood by her window, her mind restless. The human was unpredictable, clever, and different. She did not know if she liked that or feared it, but one thing was certain. He had already made an impact on her world, and perhaps on her heart. The stage was set. The encounter that began with anger and suspicion was evolving into something far more complex. Neither human nor alien fully understood what the future would hold, but both were about to discover that their lives and their worlds were intertwined in ways neither could have imagined. The days following the tower incident were tense, but they brought a new rhythm to life aboard the alien city. Captain Alex Mercer and his crew found themselves under constant observation, yet they were given opportunities to learn and interact with Zarina's people. Every moment was a lesson, not just in alien technology, but in the ways of a civilization unlike anything humans had seen before. Alex quickly realized that the aliens valued discipline and structure above all else. Their society functioned like a perfectly tuned machine. Every individual had a role, and every action was measured. Mistakes were rare, and failure carried consequences. The humans, by contrast, relied on creativity, intuition, and improvisation, traits the aliens found both fascinating and alarming. Zarina watched Alex with quiet intensity during these interactions. She had grown curious about him, especially after he saved the Crystal Tower, but curiosity was not enough to erase her anger toward outsiders. She had spent decades leading her people, defending them from invaders and deceivers. Her patience was thin and her temper quick. Yet when she observed Alex working, she saw a spark that reminded her of a time long ago, when her kind still believed in potential over caution. One morning, Alex was called to the council chamber, a vast hall where alien leaders gathered. The walls shimmered with bioluminescent panels, casting soft light on the intricate symbols etched into the floor. Zarina sat at the head, her posture regal, her gaze unwavering. "You have been here several cycles, human," Zarina said, her tone measured. "You understand little, yet you speak as if you grasp our ways. Do you truly understand the consequences of your presence? Alex bowed slightly. I am learning, Your Majesty. I may not know everything, but I want to understand and help. A murmur ran through the council members. Some were clearly skeptical, while others seemed intrigued. Zarina's eyes narrowed. Help? Many outsiders claim to help, yet leave destruction in their wake. How can we trust you? Alex paused, considering his words carefully. Trust is earned, not given. I will show you through my actions. I will not harm your people or your world. The council members exchanged glances, a silent debate unfolding in their eyes. Zarina leaned forward slightly, her voice softening but remaining firm. You have already shown ingenuity. The stabilization of the tower, an act of care and intelligence, was noted. But ingenuity alone is not enough. Our society is delicate. One wrong move could destabilize generations. Alex nodded. I understand. I will act with caution and respect. After the meeting, Zarina escorted Alex back to his quarters. The palace corridors were vast, lined with crystalline structures that hummed faintly as if alive. Alex noticed that despite her anger and suspicion, Zarina walked beside him in a way that suggested a growing trust, or at least a reluctant acknowledgement of his abilities. You do not know what it is to lead as I do, Zarina said quietly as they walked. Decisions weigh heavily. Every choice can protect or destroy lives. Humans, your kind, often act without considering consequences. That is dangerous. Alex looked at her earnestly. Perhaps. But humans also adapt. We find solutions where others see problems. That is how we survive. Zarina considered his words. There was a truth in them that she could not ignore. Adaptation is admirable, yet unpredictable. I have seen civilizations crumble because they underestimated unpredictability. Alex smiled faintly. And I have seen civilizations survive because they embraced it. Perhaps we can learn from each other. Her eyes flickered with something that Alex could not name. Respect, intrigue, or a spark of something deeper? He could not tell. Zarina was a master of concealing emotions, and even he, with all his experience, could not fully read her. The following days brought further challenges. The humans were tasked with understanding and assisting in the city's energy management. The planet's unique environment required constant attention. Shifts in the crystalline structures could destabilize entire regions. Alex approached the problem using both human intuition and careful observation of the aliens' methods. Zarina often observed him silently. Sometimes she offered guidance through subtle gestures or mental nudges, a form of communication Alex was gradually learning. She never spoke her approval outright, but her presence was a signal in itself. One afternoon, a crisis erupted in one of the peripheral districts. A minor energy surge caused a structure to vibrate dangerously, threatening to collapse. Alex acted immediately, coordinating with alien engineers and applying a solution that combined human ingenuity and alien technology. The structure stabilized once again. Zarina appeared at the site afterward, her expression unreadable but her eyes lingering on Alex. You act quickly, she said. Yet your actions are not reckless, that is rare. Alex nodded, sensing that this was high praise. I act as necessary. I cannot allow harm when it can be prevented. Zarina's gaze softened slightly, though her anger had not vanished entirely. Perhaps there is value in your kind, but value is not enough. You must earn trust every day with every decision. The city's council continued to observe Alex closely. Some members began to whisper about the human's usefulness, while others warned Zarina against becoming too lenient. Politics, Alex realized, were as complex as the technology he was learning to navigate. Despite the tension, Alex could sense a shift in Zarina. Her anger toward him was no longer as sharp. It had transformed into a careful curiosity. She asked questions, observed his methods, and sometimes even allowed him to suggest improvements. It was a fragile trust, but it was trust nonetheless. One evening, Alex found himself in the observation deck, watching the planet's twin moons rise over the horizon. The sky shimmered in colors that changed with every passing moment. He sensed Zarina approaching before he saw her. You observe the moons, she said, her voice gentle but firm. They are constant yet ever-changing. A paradox your kind would find confusing. Alex smiled faintly. Humans are used to paradoxes. We survive because we embrace them, not fear them. Zarina tilted her head slightly, studying him. You speak boldly for one who is still a guest. Or perhaps a subject. Alex met her gaze. I speak honestly, Your Majesty. I believe honesty is the first step toward understanding. For a moment, silence passed between them, filled only by the hum of the palace and the distant whispers of the city below. Alex felt something shift in Zarina's presence, an acknowledgement, subtle but undeniable, that their relationship was no longer purely formal. The following day, a festival took place in the city. It was a celebration of energy cycles, a time when the citizens honored the harmony of their world. Humans had never participated before, but Zarina allowed Alex and his crew to observe. Alex marveled at the displays, floating lights that danced in perfect synchronization, structures that shifted rhythmically with the music, and beings moving with a grace that seemed impossible. He realized that the aliens' art, their science, and their culture were inseparable, a seamless expression of life itself. Zarina stood beside him during the festival, her expression calm but attentive. "Do you understand now why our society cannot be rushed?" she asked. Alex nodded. "Yes, and I respect it. Your people have created something extraordinary. I want to learn how to preserve it, not change it recklessly." For the first time, Zarina allowed a small smile to touch her features. It was fleeting, almost imperceptible, but Alex noticed. "Perhaps you are more observant than I initially thought. That may serve you well." As the festival continued, Alex felt a connection growing, not just with Zarina, but with her people, her world, and the delicate balance she maintained. He knew challenges lay ahead, but he also sensed the beginnings of a bridge between their worlds. That night, as the city settled under the twin moons, Zarina returned to her chambers. She stood alone, her thoughts a whirlwind. Alex Mercer was different, brave, intelligent, and unexpectedly compassionate. Yet he was human, unpredictable, and dangerous. And despite her caution, she found herself thinking about him in ways she had never thought about any outsider before. The clash of worlds was only beginning. Human ingenuity and alien order would collide in ways neither fully understood, but both Alex and Zarina sensed that their fates were intertwined, and that the events to come would change both of their lives forever. And somewhere deep in the palace, Alex stared at the stars, wondering what the future held. He had entered an alien world filled with anger, suspicion, and caution, but he also glimpsed the potential for understanding, for partnership, and perhaps for something more. The following weeks were tense but filled with small victories. Alex Mercer had begun to understand the rhythms of Zarina's world, the way her people worked, how their technology flowed like water, and the careful balance of power that kept the city stable. Each day brought new lessons, and each lesson brought Alex closer to understanding the mind of the alien queen herself. Zarina, for her part, was restless. She observed Alex constantly, analyzing his reactions, his decisions, and the small gestures that revealed his character. She had been raised to trust few and outsiders even less. Yet Alex had shown intelligence, courage, and empathy in ways she had not expected. There was a spark in him, a mixture of determination and gentleness that intrigued her deeply. One evening, the city's council summoned Zarina to a ceremony she rarely attended, the rite of alignment. It was a sacred ritual that allowed leaders to establish bonds with allies, symbolizing unity, trust, and shared purpose. For humans, the ceremony was unknown, its rules complex and deeply symbolic. Yet Zarina chose to invite Alex to participate, not as a subject but as a partner in the ritual. The preparation was precise. Zarina led Alex through halls lined with bioluminescent crystals, their soft glow reflecting off the polished floors. "The rite of alignment is more than ceremony," she explained. "It is the foundation of trust. One misstep can insult a lifetime of tradition." Alex nodded, careful not to misinterpret her words. "I will do my best, Your Majesty." When they arrived at the ceremonial chamber, the grandeur of the space left Alex breathless. Towering crystal spires glowed in patterns that shifted with the movement of their thoughts. The floor was etched with intricate designs representing the cycles of the planet, the harmony of life, and the bonds between leaders and allies. The air hummed with energy, a constant reminder of the world's living pulse. "You must focus," Zarina instructed. "The ritual is not only physical. It is mental, emotional, and spiritual. Your mind must be open yet controlled. Your heart must be present yet disciplined." Alex took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. He had faced danger, conflict, and uncertainty, But nothing had prepared him for this. The chamber seemed alive, almost as if it were aware of his presence. The ritual began. Alex and Zarina moved together, following precise steps that symbolized mutual respect, trust, and cooperation. Their movements were mirrored, each gesture reflecting intention, acknowledgement, and alignment. At first, Alex felt awkward. Human motions were clumsy compared to the elegance of the alien choreography. But with Zarina's guidance, he began to move in rhythm with her, sensing not just her actions but her thoughts and intentions. As the night progressed, the ceremony became more intimate. Zarina and Alex were alone in the center of the chamber, the energy of the crystals enveloping them. The ritual required a union of mind and spirit, a sharing of presence and intent. It was a connection unlike anything Alex had experienced, an exchange of respect, trust, and understanding that transcended language or species. For Zarina, the experience was equally transformative. She had performed the rite countless times, but never with someone like Alex. His mind was open, his heart steady, yet his humanity made the connection unpredictable. She found herself drawn to him in ways she had never allowed herself before, a mixture of admiration, curiosity, and something more fragile and personal. By the end of the ceremony, exhaustion washed over both of them, but a profound change had occurred. The bond established in the rite was not only symbolic, it had real, tangible effects on both their minds and emotions. Zarina felt her anger toward outsiders soften in a way she had never imagined. Alex felt a deep respect and connection to the Queen that went beyond duty or survival. That night after the ceremony, they remained in the chamber. The crystal's soft glow bathed them in light as they spoke quietly, their conversation blending curiosity, respect, and tentative humor. "You are unlike any human I have encountered," Zarina said softly, her gaze steady. "You understand more than you should. You act with thought yet with courage. That is rare." Alex smiled faintly. "And you are unlike any alien I have ever met. Your world, your people, they are extraordinary. I am honored to be part of this." Zarina studied him for a long moment. "And yet your presence here has already changed things. Not just for me, but for my people."
"That is dangerous."
"And unexpected." Alex nodded. "Change can be difficult. But sometimes it is necessary. I want to help, not harm. I promise that." For a long time they simply sat together, observing the chamber, the crystals, and the quiet hum of the planet. Then unexpectedly a surge of energy flowed through the chamber, a phenomenon tied to the rite itself. It was subtle but profound, and it touched both of them in ways they could not fully understand. Zarina's eyes widened slightly. "This is rare. Extremely rare. I did not anticipate this outcome." Alex tilted his head, confused but alert. "What is happening?" "It is a bond deeper than the ritual itself. Your essence, your being, has merged with mine in a way that is unprecedented. It may have consequences we cannot yet predict." Neither spoke for a moment, the weight of her words sinking in. The implications were enormous, stretching beyond the personal into the political and the societal. Yet in that quiet, intimate space, neither could deny the connection forming between them. Over the next few days, Zarina behaved differently. She was more watchful of Alex, but her anger toward him had all but disappeared. She questioned him, observed him, and sometimes allowed small freedoms she would never grant any outsider. Her curiosity and respect were mingled with something new, something she could not name but that made her pulses quicken when he was near. Alex noticed the change as well. He felt a growing sense of responsibility, not only to Zarina and her people but also to the bond they had created. He understood that the connection from the rite was more than ceremonial. It was real and it carried weight, emotion, and consequence. Then one morning, an unexpected revelation shook both of them. Zarina summoned Alex to the council chamber, her expression unreadable. The council members were present, but their attention was fixed entirely on the two of them. "You must understand," Zarina began, her voice steady yet carrying an edge of disbelief. "The rite has produced an outcome unlike any other in recorded history. The bond created has resulted in a development, one that will affect not only us but the future of my people." Alex's heart raced. He had suspected something unusual, but he could not predict what she meant. "What kind of development?" he asked cautiously. Zarina's eyes met his, intense and unwavering. You have caused a life to begin. A new being, born of both human and alien essence, will exist as a result of the rite. Alex felt a rush of emotions, surprise, awe, and a sudden weight of responsibility. I didn't expect this. I don't know what to say. Zarina's expression softened, though her usual regal composure remained. There is nothing to say. It has happened. This life will be a bridge between our worlds, a symbol and a challenge. You must understand your role in this. Alex nodded slowly, feeling the gravity of the moment. I understand. I will do everything I can to protect and support it. Zarina's gaze lingered on him. Then perhaps, this connection we share is stronger than either of us realized. But know this, it will test you, challenge you, and change the course of both your life and mine. For the first time, Alex saw a flicker of vulnerability in the alien queen. She was formidable, wise, and powerful, but the consequences of their union weighed on her as heavily as they did on him. And yet beneath the uncertainty there was a quiet acknowledgement, an unspoken recognition of trust, respect, and an unexpected bond that neither could ignore. That night, as the moons of the planet rose in tandem, Alex and Zarina stood together, the city below calm and shimmering under their light. They were no longer merely observer and ruler, human and alien. They were partners in a new reality, bound by the rite and by the life that had begun because of it. And as the crystal towers reflected the soft glow of the moons, both of them understood something profound. Their lives had changed forever, and the future of two worlds now rested in part in their hands. The news of the unexpected development spread quickly through the alien city. Whispers filled the halls, carried by citizens and council members alike. A new life born from a human and the alien queen was unheard of in their history. Some were curious, some afraid, and some openly opposed it. The balance of the city, so carefully maintained, was now under subtle threat. Zarina moved through the palace with her usual poise, but Alex noticed the tension in her steps. The queen's composure never faltered in public, yet he could sense her unease. The council's reactions were measured, polite, yet beneath the surface disagreements simmered. Many leaders feared that the child would disrupt traditions, challenge hierarchies, and, most importantly, introduce human influence into their carefully guarded society. Alex tried to offer reassurance. Your Majesty, I understand their fears. But this child can be a symbol of unity, not division. I will do everything in my power to help guide them safely. Zarina glanced at him, her expression unreadable. Guidance alone will not suffice, human. The path ahead will be difficult. You will face scrutiny, suspicion, and perhaps even danger. Are you prepared for that? Alex nodded firmly. I am. For you and for this child, I will face whatever comes. The council convened a formal meeting to discuss the situation. Alex was present, though he was treated as an observer rather than a participant. The chamber hummed with energy, the alien leaders' thoughts flowing almost like currents through the room. Some were hostile, others cautious, and a few were quietly fascinated by the human's presence. One of the counselors, a stern figure named Valric, spoke first. Queen Zarina, this occurrence threatens our customs. Our species has never combined with an outsider in such a manner. How can we ensure stability? How can we trust that this life will not disrupt generations? Zarina responded calmly, though her voice carried an edge of authority. The life is already beginning. Its existence cannot be undone, but it can be guided. With care, understanding, and protection, it can become a bridge between our worlds rather than a threat. Valric's eyes narrowed. And if it fails? If human influence corrupts our traditions or weakens our society? Alex spoke up carefully and respectfully. I understand your concerns, but humans adapt and we learn. I have come here to help, not to dominate or disrupt. I promise to act with respect for your people and your ways. A murmur ran through the council. Some seemed reassured, but others remained skeptical. The discussion grew heated, tensions rising with each passing moment. Alex realized that the situation was more complex than any he had faced on Earth. Here, emotions, politics, and tradition were intertwined in ways that required careful thought, patience, and courage. Over the following days, Zarina's focus on governance became even more intense. She met with the council frequently, balancing the concerns of her people with her personal feelings. Alex assisted where he could, offering solutions that combined human creativity with alien knowledge. Yet he knew that no amount of problem-solving would ease the political tension completely. One evening, Zarina summoned Alex to her private chambers. Her expression was serious, but there was a softness in her eyes that he had not seen before. "Human," she began. "The council is divided. Some accept your presence, some do not. You must understand the magnitude of this situation. Our people are watching every action you take. Your decisions will shape how this child is received." Alex nodded. "I understand. I will be careful and deliberate. I will not allow harm to come to you or your people." Zarina studied him closely. "Your intentions are clear, but intentions are not always enough. You must act with wisdom, patience, and courage. And you must understand that your bond with me, your connection through the right, is a source of both strength and vulnerability." Alex listened intently, feeling the weight of her words. "I will remember that. I am ready to face whatever comes." The next challenge arrived unexpectedly. A rival faction within the city, opposed to human influence, attempted to sabotage a critical energy conduit. Their plan was subtle: disrupt the system just enough to create chaos without revealing their involvement. The effect was immediate. Several districts experienced temporary blackouts, causing fear and confusion among citizens. Alex and Zarina responded quickly. Working together, they identified the source of the disruption and implemented a solution that restored stability. Zarina's authority, combined with Alex's ingenuity, reassured the population. Yet the incident left both of them aware of how fragile trust could be, and how easily fear could spread. Afterward, Zarina and Alex stood together atop one of the crystal towers, observing the city. The energy flows glimmered below, returning to harmony. "You see, human," Zarina said, her voice measured. "Even the smallest disruption can have significant consequences. Your presence is a source of hope for some, and suspicion for others. This child, our bond, it amplifies both reactions." Alex nodded. "I understand, but I also see the potential. If we act carefully, we can show that humans and aliens can coexist, even benefit from each other." Zarina's eyes softened, though she remained resolute. "Potential is not certainty. You must prove yourself every day through action, thought, and character. Only then will the council and my people accept what is coming." The days that followed tested them further. Alex continued to work with alien engineers, scientists, and leaders, demonstrating human problem-solving in practical ways. Each success slowly shifted opinions, building cautious support among the council and citizens alike. Yet, opposition remained. Whispers of discontent and concern traveled quickly, carried by those who feared change. Zarina dealt with them decisively, but her patience was stretched thin. She relied increasingly on Alex, not just as an ally, but as a partner in navigating a society that was both magnificent and fragile. One evening, a counselor approached Alex privately. "Human," the figure said quietly, "you are extraordinary, but you must understand our customs. Some among us will stop at nothing to ensure tradition remains unchanged. Be cautious. Your actions are being watched." Alex nodded, appreciating the warning. "I understand. I will act carefully and respectfully." Meanwhile, Zarina prepared for a public address to the citizens, a declaration intended to reassure them about the future and the child growing within her. She consulted Alex on the language, phrasing, and presentation. Though humans and aliens expressed ideas differently, she valued his perspective, recognizing that bridging the two worlds required both insight and diplomacy. The day of the address arrived. The citizens gathered in the main plaza, their anticipation palpable. Zarina stood before them, radiant and composed, while Alex stood nearby, silent but supportive. "People of our world," Zarina began, her voice resonant, "our lives are guided by tradition, wisdom, and the protection of our civilization, yet sometimes the universe presents challenges we cannot foresee. A new life is coming, one born of both human and alien essence. This life is not a threat but a bridge. It represents the possibility of understanding, unity, and growth. We must face this future with courage, respect, and hope." A murmur ran through the crowd. Some faces reflected curiosity, others fear, but many watched with admiration for their queen's courage and honesty. Alex observed quietly, sensing the impact of her words. The citizens were beginning to see not just a powerful ruler, but a leader willing to embrace change with wisdom and strength. Afterward, Zarina turned to Alex, her eyes reflecting relief and gratitude. You have helped me navigate this challenge. Your presence is valuable, human, perhaps more than I anticipated. Alex smiled faintly. I am honored to serve, Your Majesty. I will continue to do so for you, for your people, and for the child. That night, as the moons rose over the city, Zarina and Alex stood together on the tower once more. The energy of the planet pulsed softly around them, a reminder of the life and balance they were sworn to protect. You understand, don't you? Zarina asked quietly. This is only the beginning. Opposition will rise, challenges will test us, and our bond will be scrutinized. But together we may survive and perhaps even thrive. Alex nodded. I understand, and I am ready. Zarina's gaze lingered on him, a mixture of admiration, caution, and something deeper that she could not yet name. Then we will face it together. But remember this, human. Strength alone is not enough. Wisdom, patience, and courage will be our guide. As they watched the city settle under the twin moons, Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. The challenges ahead were daunting, but he was not alone. Zarina's strength, combined with his adaptability, created a partnership capable of facing even the most dangerous opposition. The stage was set for the final trials. Political intrigue, societal fear, and the delicate balance of the alien world would test their resolve. Yet amid the tension and uncertainty there was hope, a fragile, yet undeniable hope, that their bond could withstand the trials ahead and pave the way for a future where human and alien could coexist in harmony. And deep within the palace, Zarina felt the first stirrings of a new emotion, an understanding that this human, unpredictable and courageous, was no longer merely a guest or ally. He was part of her world, part of her life, and part of a future she could not yet fully imagine. The weeks following the council address were tense yet filled with cautious optimism. Alex Mercer had proven himself not only as a problem solver, but also as a protector of Zarina and her people. Still, tensions lingered beneath the surface. Some council members remained wary of human influence, and whispers of discontent were never far from the palace walls. Zarina, however, was resolute. She had faced countless crises before, but this one was different. It was personal. The life growing within her represented not only hope, but also a bridge between two worlds. She had learned to trust Alex in ways she had never trusted anyone outside her own species. Together, they were preparing for challenges that went far beyond political intrigue. One morning, an urgent message arrived from the outer districts. A natural energy fluctuation threatened one of the city's key power conduits. If left unchecked, it could destabilize the entire energy grid and plunge the city into chaos. Alex and Zarina moved quickly, coordinating engineers, sensors, and human insight. The crisis was severe. Crystal towers trembled as energy flows fluctuated unpredictably. Citizens looked on anxiously from safe distances. Alex and Zarina worked tirelessly, blending human adaptability with alien precision. Hours passed, sweat and energy coursing through both of them, until finally the conduit stabilized. Zarina turned to Alex, her expression a mix of relief and admiration. You acted with courage, human. Your presence saved lives today. Alex shook his head modestly. It was a team effort, Your Majesty. I only did what was necessary. Necessary, Zarina repeated, her eyes softening. Yes, but your courage is undeniable. That is why your bond with me and with the life we have created is so important. It shows others that we can survive change, that we can embrace what is new without fear. The weeks passed with careful preparation for the coming event, the birth of their child. The palace adjusted to new rhythms. Scientists, healers, and engineers coordinated to ensure that the environment would be perfect for the child's arrival. Citizens watched with curiosity, respect, and hope, slowly accepting that this new life was not a threat, but a promise. During this time, Alex and Zarina spent more moments together, away from the council and the eyes of the city. They shared stories of Earth and her world, finding common ground in values, courage, and determination. The connection between them had deepened beyond alliance. It had become companionship, respect, and a quiet affection neither had expected. One night, as the twin moons bathed the city in soft light, Zarina confided in Alex. I have faced many challenges, she said quietly. But this is different. Not because it threatens me or my people, but because it affects my heart. You have changed my perspective, human. I no longer see you as merely an outsider. You are part of this world, part of my life, part of what is coming. Alex felt a warmth he had never experienced in an alien world. And you have changed mine, Your Majesty. I have seen courage, wisdom, and strength I have never encountered before.
I want to protect this child, you and your people.
I will do everything in my power to ensure a safe and hopeful future. The day of the birth arrived with a mix of anticipation and nervous energy. The ceremonial chamber was prepared, filled with a soft glow from the crystal towers and the gentle hum of energy flows. Healers, scientists, and advisors surrounded Zarina, while Alex remained close, offering calm reassurance and support. Zarina's movements were precise, her breathing controlled despite the intensity of the moment. Alex held her hand, grounding her with his presence. Together they were a team, a combination of human ingenuity and alien precision, ready to face whatever challenges came with bringing new life into the world. Hours passed, each moment tense and filled with anticipation. And then at last the life arrived. A small radiant being, a perfect blend of human and alien essence. The child's presence lit the chamber with an energy that felt almost alive, a symbol of unity, courage, and hope. Zarina held the child close, her gaze softening as she looked at Alex. "It is beautiful," she whispered, stronger than I imagined and full of potential. Alex's voice trembled with emotion. "It is amazing, just like its mother. Together we will protect it, guide it, and show the world that two species can create something extraordinary." Word of the birth spread quickly through the city. Citizens gathered outside the palace, their fear and suspicion replaced by awe and respect. The child represented a new beginning, a symbol that humans and aliens could coexist, cooperate, and even thrive together. The council convened soon after, their expressions a mix of wonder and cautious acceptance. Zarina addressed them with calm authority. "This child is not a threat. It is a bridge, a chance for understanding and a symbol of unity. Our future can be stronger, wiser, and more resilient if we embrace this change with courage and hope." The council members exchanged glances, slowly nodding. The opposition remained, but it was tempered by respect for Zarina's judgment and Alex's unwavering support. Change, they realized, could be guided, not feared. In the days following the birth, Alex and Zarina worked together to establish protocols for the child's care and education. They combined human curiosity with alien knowledge, creating an environment that would nurture intelligence, empathy, and strength. The palace itself seemed to pulse with energy, attuned to the presence of new life and hope. During quiet moments, Zarina and Alex reflected on the journey that had brought them here. From suspicion and anger, through challenges and crisis, to this moment of creation and unity, they had forged a partnership built on respect, courage, and understanding. "You have changed more than our future," Zarina said one evening, holding the child close. "You have changed me, human. I see possibilities I did not dare imagine, and I trust that together we can guide this child and our worlds towards something extraordinary." Alex smiled, feeling the weight and joy of responsibility. "I will stand by you, Your Majesty, always. This child, you and your people, I will protect, guide, and honor all of it." As the twin moons rose over the city, the citizens watched in quiet reverence. The palace glowed with light, energy, and life, a symbol of what courage, respect, and unity could achieve. The birth of the child marked a turning point, not just for Zarina and Alex, but for an entire civilization. In the months that followed, the child grew, learning from both human and alien influences. Its presence inspired curiosity, cooperation, and a new appreciation for what humanity could contribute. Citizens began to interact with humans more openly, seeing that trust and understanding could overcome fear and suspicion. Alex and Zarina continued to lead together, their bond stronger than ever. The challenges of politics, tradition, and societal change remained, but they faced them as a team. Each obstacle became an opportunity to demonstrate courage, wisdom, and unity. The story of the human and the alien queen spread across the city, eventually reaching other civilizations. It became a tale of hope and possibility, a reminder that even in the face of fear and difference, trust, cooperation, and courage could create something extraordinary. And deep within the palace, Zarina held the child, watching its bright, curious eyes. Alex stood beside her, feeling the warmth of family, partnership, and purpose. Together they had faced the unknown, embraced change, and forged a path that promised a future where humans and aliens could coexist, grow and thrive together. As the city pulsed with energy and life, and the twin moons reflected their light across the crystal towers, one thing was clear: a new era had begun. The child represented hope, unity, and the merging of worlds. Alex and Zarina had proven that courage, respect, and trust could overcome fear, anger, and uncertainty. Their journey was far from over, but they had taken the first steps toward a future filled with possibility. And in that future, humans were no longer outsiders. They were partners, allies, and most importantly, a part of a story that would shape the destiny of an entire civilization. For Zarina, Alex, and their child, the horizon was no longer a boundary. It was a promise of hope, of unity, and of a future where differences could create strength instead of fear. Together, they looked toward the stars, ready to face whatever came next, confident that their bond and the life they had brought into the world would endure.